Hi there. Thank you for being back on. I am on my Donna Dewberry YouTube channel, and I am doing some painting. I just wanted to try to excite you with and show you how simple you can paint, from paintings on my wall to glass painting to with these simple brushes and more. Okay, so we're using great paint today, and the paint's going to make a difference. So if you've ever seen my painting, bright, vivid, there's oops, right there, some pastel, big oversized flowers, rustic looks, all kinds of look. Hi, Curtis. Hello, Miss Donna. I think all you guys are snowed in, so you have time for me. We're in Florida, and I'm not teasing you. I'm just telling you, we were a little chilly this morning at 31, but we have a wet cold. I don't know what you have, but I don't know if the difference. I just saw a lot of snow everywhere, and so maybe, maybe you can enjoy a little bit of watching me paint or painting with me. How many of you have ever thought, I would love to learn how to paint? Well, I'm excited to share with you that within an hour you can paint something you couldn't believe, even if you've never painted before. And I know I want to tell you one thing. Hello, Veronica. I want to tell you one thing. Um, I make it look really easy. I do. So when you hear that comment, man, she makes it look easy. But I do easy steps that will make it feel comfortable. And I want you to know it does take some practice, but anything worthwhile does take a little bit of practice. And what but I want you to know within an hour you can do something you'll go, oh my gosh, I really did that. So wouldn't that be a great feeling? And while you're snowed in, I saw some people that couldn't even get their cars out. So that made me worry. So I hope you are like us when hurricanes hit in Florida. We prepare, prepare, prepare in case we get stuck with no power and stuff. But we can walk out of our house, and I saw some pretty big snow out there, guys. So we've been praying for all of you that you are not caught and in trouble. You made it easy and motivating to learn. Yeah, thank you. Cold. I think everybody out there is pretty cold. Amani, did y'all see any snow or just really cold, nasty weather? I'm going to start painting and look for you guys every once in a while to talk. So let's get started. Okay. So I just want you to see that I'm going to put this up on this so we don't get a big glare, but just, just some creative things I want to do in the beginning. All right. I am taking just a small little canvas. This is my double loader, and I dampen this and put it on in here to keep it moist so my paint can last for weeks in here and still be fresh. This I just did, but I've got another one I cleaned. If it dries hard in there, all you do is put it under the sink and let water fill to here and wait about 15 minutes and it pops all off. Okay, so that makes it fun. All right, to use and saves you money because you don't waste your paint. I have lots of plates in the trash here that have lots of paint on it that I painted and ran. It was 10 degrees. Oh my goodness. We got 18 inches. Wow. Amani, just ice. All right. That's a blessing, right? All right. So I just want to come across here. I'm using floating medium in the middle instead of water. But the first thing is I thought it'd be fun to do a little background. All right. And when I'm doing this background, I'm going to use a hair dryer. Okay. And I have a heat pen that I use a lot. But with this, I'm going to just come in here with this hair dryer. I'm going to take like a mop brush, and I'm going to pick up some colors I'd like to use with water. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to get some water going here and a little bit over here. I like a watercolor look. We'll see. And then we're going to do flowers from my A to Z because I have so many people out there doing competitions to see who can you get go through the 50 A to Z kit and paint them all by March. So you can start fresh with some of those that are doing fresh. All right. So I want to put let's put a little bit of darker gold in here. Okay, this is just some background. So let's see what happens here. Now I'm going to take this blow dryer. Now, if you just want to heat some, you could use your heat pen and just do a few spots. But I am looking for my paper towels. What did I do? Okay. I know I didn't use them all up, so I'm not sure where they are. All right, but I use it especially when I'm working on glass, trying to get layers of that done. And then I don't even have to put it in the oven. All right, so seriously, guys, I guess I'm not going to use any more paper towels before, except what I have. All right, so I do want to pull a couple out and come across here so I don't look too messy. All right, so let's create. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to have my brushes over here, going to get my painting here and have some of this paint that I'm going to bring in here. Now, another way that we can get some cool looks is I can use floating medium. Let's see what color though. I want to put a couple other little shades in here. That would be nice in the background. Let's just put a little bit of teal. Okay, now this is all water-based acrylic. And these 2-ounce bottles can do amazing things. I used to paint murals on walls, and I would come in with all 2-ounce bottles. And the painters that would be working on the houses I was working on would be peeking through the window saying, "Look what she's using." All right, so I want to show you another thing. Let me show you this kind of. That you can take the wrapper from your canvas and you can go like this. Or I can have another way that I've done it. And that's just bringing some, this is bringing some teal in. Okay, so let's go up here a little bit. Just like giving you different looks in here, okay? Instead of just having the base coat or work on making it perfect in other ways. All right, I'm gonna take this on here. This gives it a leather look, okay? All right, so some people use lots of stamps and stencils and all in the background, and I do put stencils on here, but I just want you to see that real quickly. You can have a cool background. All right, and we're gonna paint wet on wet. So this is my heat pen. That's really fun. You'll like this, especially when you're doing glass and different things. That just sets it really quick. Now, the beautiful thing is that you don't need, there's a sealer in this, so you don't have to varnish it and clean and put layers of stuff on here. And please give me thumbs up if you're liking what I'm showing you, because those algorithms, I don't know how to say that very well, can tell YouTube that you're liking what you're seeing. All right, so I'm taking my kit. I love to show you different kits. This is an inexpensive, wonderful kit, but I have kits that are less than this. But this kit gives you all the paint and all these guides for 50 flowers and 5 quality, really nice brushes, not crap brushes. And these 50 cards are laminated. They have a UV coating on them. And so you paint on this, you wipe it off, and you paint again. So that gives you the strokes. This is my best-selling kit. and history, and we have sold many kits. All right. And on the shopping channels, I'm sorry, I lost a brush here. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to paint. So you get 50 lessons. You go to onestroke.com to my website for any of the tools I'm using, and you do the 50 flowers. These are the ones I'm saying. Even try 2 a week. Just work on the guide, wipe it off, work on it, and only spend like an hour. Then just keep track of a pad with all those in it and just see what it turns out. Plus, you get, when you purchase that, you get free 50 tutorial lessons that I did. How's that sound? All right, so let's paint. I'm just going to pick out a couple. All right, let's pick out a few flowers that we can do. Oh, I know. This is a wild, bright Luxeastery, and that's not really what I was going to do, but that's fine. So I'm going to come in here with my scruffy brush. This is a scruffy brush. I actually created this brush in the industry, and so it is made just for one stroke. You can use it for lots of things. All right, so I'm going to do a sunflower. So I pounce up and come all the way around. You practice this right on your guide, and then you come right here and put it there. So you make a donut. It looks like a chocolate donut with maple syrup icing on it. Maybe. All right, then, oops, I usually put these next to each other. So let me move this right here. And in the double loader, I'm going to pick up with a 12 flat. I split the brush to get 2 colors. And then I can come over here and work it in, but that's not what you're going to do. You're going to grab this wet paint, and I'm going to come down so you can see it. All right. So if you like anything I'm showing you, this is what you see on my channel. We have free lessons, just like this is a free one. You have memberships, and you have more. One Stroke Advantage means you get 20% off anything you buy during the month with my code for being a member. And the membership starts at $9.95 for 4 lessons, 20% off. That's the advantage. And by the way, you don't even have to join. You can just continue to watch my free lessons. All right. So there's free lessons, new lessons twice a week put on. Relax and Paints one and Practice Strokes. So if you say, I want to try sunflowers, go over there. Now, this is what I do. If you paint other traditional painting techniques, you have to put the light yellow, then you shade in the gold, and then you take and do all these little lines, and then you come back and you make the center. And so I want to show you something. I can go back now and all the way around and touch up where it grabbed, where the petal grabbed my center, my wet center. So it's important that you have a wet center. All right, here's okay. I'm trying to make this really compact in here so y'all can see it. But I'm going to come down, come all the way around, get some more yellow all the way around. And there you have the highlight and everything inside there. All right. Now, that is one of the first things that people do with one stroke painting is do a sunflower and a rosebud. So I'm going to do those 2 with you. I also want you to see that I have this fun tool on my site. And for $1 more, you get a second tool, which I never can find here. All right. The second tool goes with it also. For $1 more, but this we call it kiss tool because it looks like a candy kiss, but it's really wipe away tool. All right, so one thing that you can do is now come along here and do little dots with this rubber tip, and so I can put a few here and there, fresh paint only. All right, so I just want to show you. I'm going to keep painting some different flowers from my kit. And I'm telling you, by the time you finish the 50 flowers, you can go paint all these lessons with me online and go, I know what she did there. That's the same as the sunflower petal, which that's the same as a leaf. And that's the same petal that you might see on another flower, but this part of the flower is the outside petal instead of the point. All right. So you could go through your garden and say, oh, there's that apple blossom that she taught me. There is that rose stroke that's in that flower. Okay, now you can do that, or you can come back in here and put some brighter yellow along here. So you decide. Look how fun this is. And these little dots are raised. So it looks 3D as you're working in here. See, that didn't work, so I come back and get more. Fresh paint straight up and down with your brush. All right. And before you're done, you're one stroke away from being an artist. Do you believe that? Uh, I like to do different backgrounds so that your background doesn't look like everybody else's at the art shows. Or if you're selling your wares, like I'm picking up this and then I'm working right here to work it in. You split, this is number 12 flat, which we use for these petals. All right. And I act like you've never painted before ever. So if you're an artist who's painted watercolor or oils or something else, I worked with somebody today in my camp, in my studio, that she has always done oils, and you could tell by the way she strokes and the things she does. And I had to continue to say, okay, let's take that brush and let's lay it flat. See how I'm laying it flat? And I take your hand and work on it. But what's beautiful is I'm able to help people who take private lessons from me. I'm able to help them by watching them do a stroke and then say, oh, this is what you need to do. Um, so then, and y'all saw how easy this background happened. Sometimes I think ahead with my colors, but like today, I just grab paint and say, what if I add this on there? All right. So look, here is 3 colors. Now we usually double load, but to get different shades and depths, and think about this. Roses, thank you, Lorraine. Roses, I mean, hello. Greens, the greenery, leaves or vines or ivy. What happens is the fresh green is the fresh new growth is bright green. And by the time you get down to the bigger ivy, you've got dark green. Now, every one of these worksheets has the how to leaves with it. All right. So let me show you really quick. I made a little book of them. But what happens here is, see, that's one kind of leaf, all right? And then here is the sunflower leaf, and look how many petals I can add to make it more. And there's a side view, and then on the back side of it, which I put something else in there, on the back side of it is like this, where we practice right on here, wipe it off, and practice again. And just remember, our paints are made, you don't have to have the plastic sleeve, you can wipe it off right on here. But just want you to understand, our paints are made to stay on glass or whatever. So this is because it's multi-surface, remember, on multiple surfaces. So when you paint on here, don't paint the whole thing and then go try to wipe it off. If it dries, that paint's made to stay. All right. So I just want y'all to think about that when I paint a few strokes and wipe it off, paint a few strokes and wipe it off. All right. I think I am going to paint this guy, and then maybe we'll even do, I just saw a calla lily. All right. Have you ever had a calla lily? I taught a whole bunch of nail techs how to do baby calla lilies. All right. So let's start with this tiger lily. All right. So I'm going to put the scruffy away here. Scruffy, you're going to pounce in the tool, the brush basin. Everything I make for you is to help you save money, make money. And that's what I've done my whole life with my 7 children, is try to save money by making a ton of gifts that they need for school teachers and for baby showers I go to and all kinds of things. And I have painted greeting cards for all of our family for 5 years. And until they became $1 a piece at the store, and I'm like, ugh. But what I did by doing that is I inspired lots of people to do that. and it's been really fun. I have some extra ones painted up when I have something special going on. Okay, so the tiger lily. You can use the yellow and red make orange, right? So let's go right here. Let's pick up the two colors and I split to pick it up and I come over here and I work it in. Okay, so you're going to work it, work it, work it. And I'm going to let the, oh, oops, oops, oops. That's not a good idea. I let that aqua ran, that's a teal. It ran across there because I didn't shake it well, or how did I get that moisture in there? I do not know. Oh, I did the aqua on the that teal and the background and with a wet mop brush. That's my fault. All right, so then I'll just keep dipping when I need more paint. Okay, so let's see what a tiger lily looks like. Um, let's make it really high up here. So it's going to come up here in reverse. Oh, I'll have to tell me I'm off. All right, we're going to come up here and reverse and come back down. All right, now I can add a teeny bit of white to the yellow because I want it to really show and not be dark. All right, then I'm going to come out here. Now, I need some medium, so I'm going to dip straight in the medium. Okay, I just dipped right in there. And then I started again because sometimes you have plenty of paint, but you still need a little bit of moisture on there. All right, so look, we're going to push, stand up. Now you can stop. You can get more paint and you can come right here, push hard, and roll your brush. All right. Now let's pick up some more. I dipped yellow, dipped red, flatten the brush. You can't paint without flattening this, okay? Because I kept working with women who kept squishing the brush all up instead of right here. If you just flatten it and then stroke, then you're going to get a really pretty stroke, okay? All right. I'm going everywhere here. All right. So I'm going to come down here and do this one right here. Push really hard, stand up. Now you can trace my flower on here with tracing paper on your worksheet, reusable teaching guide, and trace it on something if you don't feel comfortable not using a pattern. All right. All right. So this one I want really larger and wider, and it's coming at me. And stand up. Oops, that's a bad tip. All right, so look what happens. I'm going to come right here to a point and come back down. How's that sound? From Great Britain. Wow. Okay, so you love your kit. Well, I want to see how many flowers you finished. All right. How many? Where are you at? All right. All right. If you haven't counted, start counting, guys. It gives you encouragement to keep going. All right. There's the bud. Usually I do a little buds right when I'm doing this petal. I do some more. And look at all the streaks in that. It does it automatically. It's the way we load our brush and the way we hold our brush. Now I can wipe that gently, but then go right here. I'm gonna pick up my paint first, work it in, and as I'm putting pressure, we're gonna get some of that red. Now that's a ton of paint, but you still go into your medium, especially when we're doing a long petal or long leaf. All right, so I'm going to come right here from the center to there and pull it down. See my little finger? All right, I'm going to come up a little bit because I wanted that to be close for you. All right, so look, we're going to now also take this guy and I can come right along here. Now let me show you what happens. I'm going to flatten it again, and I'm going to, with this kind of lily, it doesn't have just long strokes. It has some of these thin ones coming up as we're painting. So I want some going one way. I'm on the chisel. This is a chisel, okay? And I can come right along here, okay? I can pick up a teeny bit of white and get some or yellow and get some pretty color in here. Now you can make these really rich dark colors or really nice spring colors, but look what the background did. Didn't the background make a difference in what the flowers are looking like? All right, so now what I want to show you, I'm going to get a smaller brush. This is a 12, and I'm going to take this brush wet on wet. I'm not letting anything dry, I'm just going for it. I'm going to come right in here and I'm going to go right here. Oops. I'm going to go right here, chisel, make a smile, and chisel back. All right, can you see that? That's going to be inside the flower. Do I use the same flowing medium for different types of paint? For acrylic, the matte and the multi-surface. All right. So all of our paint, just remember, any kind of mediums, you should use the same paint brand that you're using the medium brand. Does that make sense? All right. I don't use water. I need the medium because of what it does for me. Okay, so I want you to understand it comes in 2-ounce bottles and 8-ounce. And what I have is these are the two things you use most with one stroke painting. We put white in almost every flower and lots of leaves because we have to have a dark to get a light. All right. And then the floating medium you use with everything because we try to stay away from water. This is the fluff that's inside paint. See how fluffy? It's the fluff that's in there with no pigment, no color. All right. And then uh, watching North Carolina while eating homemade beef stew. You're a brat. That sounds really good. I'm going to go eat some oodles and noodles or something. All right. So now that gave us some depth in here, but let me show you just a little bit. See, now it looks like you have a center, and we're going to put our stamens out of the center. But what I want to do is I want to come in here with a little liner that you can use from your kit. All right. Not this one, it's another liner. I don't want to mess up those brushes because I can't just get a set of those. I have to open a kit. All right. So look, we have a lot of my teachers that say, I'm going to just buy 6 sets of those. I said, you can't. They're only available in the kit. And after you start painting, you're going to want every kind of brush I share with y'all. But I made them reasonable, like this green 10-piece brush set. It is how I tell people it's like the students, it's your first brush set, and it's got everything you need to get started, and it's less than $18. And so for 10 brushes. So think about that. It's a good deal. Now I'm coming in here and I'm putting, this still isn't teeny enough for me. So I'm going to use my 2 script liner, which is inside the A to Z kit. If you're looking on my website for it, when people can't find it, they try to get back with me to find it. It is under this Donna Dewberry. No. I'm forgetting what I was telling you. On my onestroke.com, what you do is hit search and you search by saying AZ kit. But when you get under kits, you're going to see all kinds of kits, all price ranges. Okay. I'm just doing this real quick so you see that is possible. So this is what you're going to do. On this flower, think about it. You're doing the same petal all over. It's how you stand it up at the end. All right. So think about that. you just for an hour, if you spend an hour practicing a stroke, you can then put these little babies all together and have it. All right. So those are bigger. If I was spending more time, I wouldn't. Um, I could make it more delicate, but I'm trying to make this happen. Look, you're going to push and lift. And I put a teeny bit of licorice in the red to get you that depth so you can see it. All right. I just got heavy on those. That's okay. If you can still tell what kind of flower it is, that's wonderful. Now I can take a little streak through white and hit these tips. Up, okay, there. And what else? Oh, you can take a couple of these and pull them down. Okay. Do you see that? Now, yeah. Okay. So now let's do, oh, what I say I wanted to do. Oh, a calla lily. I'm just showing you this because this is a little tricky, but a lot of them are not. No, you know what? Let's put a rose in here. Would you like that? I'll show you the calla lily some other time. Um, one thing, I teach you 4 different roses in this kit. 4 different roses. Now I have wreaths of the month. That's a more intense kit. I have flowers of the month for birthday months, birthday flowers. I have all kinds of different kits. Birds and blossoms is a smaller kit. That's fun. All right. So let's do, should we do a purple rose? I'm going to do a purple rose. So now, sometimes when I split it, I'm 1/3 white and 2/3 purple. Okay. So that's loading. It's a dampened brush. You laid it on a paper towel first. And I got that mess moving around on me. All right, so now I'm gonna come right here and stay. This is controlling you so that you're keeping it right there. Now, doesn't that look easy the way I'm laying this out and showing you? All right, this is just kind of fun. It's 3 of the major paintings that we learn in this A to Z. Okay, so look, I want you to see this stroke. Now your handle's up. You go 1, 2, 3. You scrub the brush with it flat. My eyes are looking at the outside edge. All right. All right. So now I still have plenty of purple. I just need to dip white, flatten it, and paint. So I'm going to go 2. All right. Now I have paint on this side, so I can go over here. Now, wet on wet, I'm going to paint white. Oh, I'm going to pick up white. I'm going to get wet on wet means I can go right over this even if it's not dry. All right, dip white, flatten it, and do another one. So we're going to see my eyes are looking at that outside edge. And like I can go around and put little dots. See those little dots? And that, without thinking, I'm just doing petals along and touching those dots. So look, I can come over here again, move, load it, work it in, and look at this. I'm only looking at the outside edge to make a scallop all the way around. All right. So what you have to do is every petal is the same scallop. All right. And so to get that same color, if I picked up a lot of purple, one time this petal might look different than that petal or different than that petal, but because I work it in, then they're all consistently the same shade. All right. So now I'm going to dip some more white, and now I'm going to decide which way I want this rose to go. So I'm going to put my 2 lines. Now this is important because this is the center. All right. Um, let me show you something. Here is a rosebud from there to there. All right. So I'm going to put it right there. Handle still straight up and down. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to then do a U and another U. And then I'm going to come around, look at this. I lay the white and cross across. All right, so just learn rosebuds and spend an hour doing rosebuds. And you're going to go, look at these great little buds. And that will make you so happy. You can do all kinds of greeting cards with little roses on it, get well cards, birthday cards. All right, so now I did the U, which means the white is drawing a U. All right, so you want to start where you started and end where you ended. Okay, so let's look at this closer now. All right, now I'm going to, here's that line again. I'm going to go not so much pressure, same brush. It looks better if you can make the whole rose with the same size brush. So I'm going to be right here again. And I'm going to 1, 2, 3. All right. So we're not putting this bud in the center. We're doing it at an angle like it's tilted. Hello, Miss Kim. Yes, I hope everybody's toasty warm. In Florida, we say we're hunkering down. All right. So see the white? Now you got to fill in from there to there. So sometimes it's 3, usually it's at least 4, depending on what size your rose is. See, you couldn't see that white, so I had to go get more. All right, so you have 5 petals, you have a bud, you have 4 petals. You're copying my guide and doing it just like that. Hello, Miss Judy. Okay, so let's work it in. Thank you for being on, guys. I want you to see that one stroke painting, blend shades and highlights in each stroke. All right, so now look, touch here, lean the white, lift the purple, and slide that white underneath that first stroke. All right, that's the only tricky thing. All right, so if you just practice that, lean out, scoop, lean out, scoop. So I'm leaning the white petal out. Okay, there you go. Now, I use purple because there's purple there instead of a pink. But let me show you that we can now wipe this off. You don't have to go in water every time, but come over here and let's let the dark green be in. Yeah, no, I need the dark green on the outside because I have so many colors in the background. A little bit of medium to get started. So you split your brush here, work it in there. All right, so let's start out here. Okay. And that is the same petal that we just did there. So let me show you what I mean. All right, so what we're going to do is we go right against this flower. Okay, and we're going to do that seashell again. See that shell? Darn it. See all that paint? I needed to dip the dark green into floating medium. Just the corner, yeah. And then we're going to come right there. So you have a lot of goop in the middle, which is normal. And then you're going to just take that dark green and pull a stem into it. All right. You can make those lighter if you want to, but this is where we are. Now I can come in here with a 12 or a 10 or some of the other flat brushes. And I can go 1, here's the point, and 2 on the sides. Okay. And so then I just take that brush and do the stem. I can even do another one out here. And there we go. See? Well, thank you. So what do you think? What I want you to know is this is exactly what you get when you are a member or subscriber on my website. Then you have these lessons right there for you to grow your talent and start painting one stroke with me. Start teaching one stroke. We're always looking for teachers. Got teachers all over the world where I've traveled and taught, and online they've learned. If you want to be certified in one stroke painting and become one of our instructors, and we help you get classes and students, all you have to do is even do it online. And my daughter Amanda helps you find a teacher online, or we'll work with you to with different ways that are affordable for that to happen for you. You can do one step at a time, or you can do be certified in 3 days. So your choice. Okay. Now, do you see that? It's wet on wet. See how I put even one right on top of that dark? Thank you for the hearts. You guys are sweet. All right. How many of you out there are painting with me that never thought you'd paint before or ever, but you're painting with me now? That's what I want somebody to come on and tell people that are watching that that's what you've done. Like just a little testimonial of, did this A to Z kit help you get better? All right. So if you learn how to do flowers, then we do landscapes and we do animals. And I've been doing little mice and chickens and roosters. And I even have videos showing you how to do puppy dogs. All right. Different kinds of dogs. Hey, Karen. Alan, there you are. I I have been on painting. You have to go back and watch it. Okay. So what we're doing is let's just put a little bit of a fern. All right. But we can even use, watch this. Remember I told you that water got into that teal? Let's pick up some white. Oh no, I was gonna do citrus green with teal. There we go. And it's just a brighter, and that's some of the color we used in the back. But I want you to see that I can come right in here. Okay. Now let's see what happens. You never know if it's gonna show depending on what the background is. Nah. All right. So let's just do straight teal. Okay. Now we can use even smaller brushes, but I'm gonna bring this down. Okay. So see, we put a little bit of teal in there. I did really dark green on here because it wasn't showing up on with the background. So you have to kind of judge that as you go. But all right, tell me how many people. Let me know if you're inspired at all. All right, A to Z is priceless. Thank you, Miss Karen. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I can put some strokes from underneath, like maybe they were coming up here and they popped out up here. All right, so the more watercolor you want it to look, the more medium you use, okay? So I'm going to come in here. Oh, here's a good one. I can come right in here and pull. Watch me. I have green, teal, purple, and white. Now look what happens. I'm just going to pull this back. Or I can even go like this. Let it come hang over a little bit. All right. The kits are definitely the way to go. Everything in one spot. Paints, brushes, everything. So the deal is that when you go in the store, you're not sure what you need. You go on my website and you go, which one do I need? And so when you pick up any of my kits, I've got from really inexpensive to more intense, but everything that's on there, you can get 12 full size teaching guides, 12 brushes or 10 brush set, the sponge in there for doing backgrounds, 12 worksheet guides, floating medium and all of them. So look at all the kits that can happen that way. So I teach you design too, but I'm trying to one, two, three, there's a triangle of larger flowers. And you can find triangles of buds, which means I need something over there, or purple one, two, three with the purple. The yellow's in the background, so that helps with this. But I want you to see that I can come right here, and there's some more flowers in this kit that now teal, I take this back. This one teal color is not in the kit. Everything else I'm showing you is. Okay. So see, that's that color, that color, that color. So what I mean is so many people say, okay, how do I know where to put what color to put there? How do I know where to put another leaf? Well, you're going to come right here and do step by step with each little class I teach you until you feel comfortable to go, I just created that myself. And come join our website. I mean, hello, come join our Facebook group. Everything I've got available is right here on the YouTube channel, my Donna Dewberry YouTube channel. And on here is about Donna, and it shows you my private YouTube, ah, Facebook group where we monitor and make sure that it's all one stroke and people are nice. And but we got to make sure. So many YouTubers come over there and they try to join, but they won't answer any questions. And we have to know you're not a robot. So if you want to be there, we'll have lots of encouraging, wonderful people to help you. Right, Alan? Lots of people. I received as a present the A to Z kit. Don't know which one to start with, which is the easiest. I tell people to try a daisy and try a rosebud. All right. That's the first two that I think you'll like jumping into. And then just look at the ones that look easy. All right. Anybody there want to say, Alan, what do you think is the easiest A to Z to start with? All right. Alan's really grown since I met him almost a year ago. Or is it a year, Alan? Alan, I think it's a year ago. Um, Anybody else? What's your favorite A to Z to start with where you felt success? All right. That's a good question. All right. Because I can say one thing, but you're out there trying to make it happen and learning from the beginning. See, I use my handle to dot those. All right. Sunflowers, Leanne says. Okay, so let me tell you, I taught you how to use a scruffy, which that's easy, even if you don't do a great center. If you scruffy the colors, then while it's wet, you're pulling, you can go rewatch that on here. But while it's wet, you're going to go and from the center wet, you're going to do a stroke and it's going to pick up and make all those streaks in there. All right. So then you can go, within an hour, you can do that. All right. I don't think this is the easiest. There's more steps to it, but doing a rosebud and let me show you the daisy. I'll just show you a little hint of how that is. All right. With the daisy, I tell you to just do white. You don't have to shade or anything. Let me show you. So this is exactly what you get on my site. On there's the clock. All right, there's 12, 3, 6, and 9. Now, do you see what I did? I touched this is the chisel. I touch the chisel, push down, and lift. All right, because you want to see light in there. You don't want a big, huge stump of a petal. All right, now you put 2 in between each one. 1, 2. All right, and you do that all the way around. Now, I did these. I put a beautiful teal background, and then I just painted big daisies like that. It's the same stroke, just a bigger brush. All right. And so there you go. So what you're going to see on my website or on my Facebook group is more of this, how to make this happen, how to paint on different types of surfaces, glass, metal, clothing. And we've got all the paints, metallics, treasure golds, glitter, anything you want to make happen. on any kind of surface. We are there for you. All right. And by when you join for the month for 9.95, you can go back years. And that's what people snowed in have told me. They've been binging on, like, if you want to start at the beginning with practice strokes, that's for all those European people that couldn't get on. I mean, they found me and they go, but how do I learn? How do I learn? I found it very useful to learn the leaf strokes and my changing the colors. I can paint flower petals. Exactly, Kim. Um, so I forgot what I was telling you. But they go, "Ma'am, what is this?" I could tell they're from another country when they keep saying "ma'am." So what I told them is I started practice strokes, which is free on my homepage. Relax and paint, like a little simple relax project. Or the other one is practice strokes on Friday, every Friday, new one. So what happens, I said, is I want you to go back as far as you can, or just put on there that you're looking for how to use the double loader. All right, how to load this, how to use this. But then I take every brush and the 10-piece set, and I take every brush and the signature set, and every brush I stroke. I go to this and I stroke every single one to show you how to load it and what you do with it. Just one little short tutorial tells you that. All right. So that's the best way when maybe you can't get to a class. I have lots of people that have been sick in Florida, and they said, I just turned you on so I wouldn't be sad that I'm not there. And I just watched all the stuff I learned. I didn't know I could learn so much right online. So I can't hold your hand, but I sure can work with you to make you get it as good as I can help you get it right there online. All right. So you can take your little small scruffy and you can pounce in the center, or you can take the handle and you can dot it. All right. So I'm going to just take pounce. One stroke painting means you blend, shade, and highlight in each stroke. So instead of just, hi, I just wanted to say you're a star to me. This is so cool. We love Donna. Thank you for changing the art world. I have to go back to work now. I love you. That's sweet. Thank you. I have had an art professor, I'm not going to tell you what college, wrote me a 2-page letter about, I wish you would get out of the painting industry. You're destroying art. And I could have taken that, which I did. It was hard because I thought I had so many people that were just loving learn how to paint like this. But here's this professor in art who thinks that I was destroying everybody's ability to create, who watched me. So um, then it's so much fun on PBS. I had said they tried to hide it from me, but of course I want to see. Somebody wrote me and said, "You don't pronounce these words right." And she went 2 columns of all the ways I said things wrong, like a picture or a picture. I mean, and I'm just like, okay. So you never know, but I can't imagine sitting there trying to figure out how to let somebody who was trying to share their art and to create, how that it would make you feel good to sit there and say all the things I did wrong. All right. So I want you to think that while you're creating any type of art you do and it makes you smile is art. All right. I have all kinds of wonderful stories about what's happened along my career that, and I have a high school diploma. I just love to create. And I started making salt dough ornaments I shared earlier. And then people would come and get my Santas. And every year, this one lady told me one year, I'm nursing a little baby and I'm, I'm trying to take her money. She dropped by my house to pick out one of my new Santas for the year. Uh, you can watch Donna online for every flower. That's right. You can watch on all the flowers that we have in there. You're going to be able to go, and when you purchase this, you're going to be able to go with me and sit there. I'm going to have my double loader. I'm going to have it loaded. I'm going to show you each stroke, how to load each brush, and then all 50. We laid them all over the floor. We did 50 lessons, and I turn it over, and wait a minute, where is it? Uh, yeah, right here. All right, so we do this on this page with each brush, okay? Then we turn over and we paint that on, we used a piece of mat board and different cream colors or whatever. And we just painted those, just those two, so that you painted this, which is the morning glory. All right. And anyway, when this lady came in and I had a Santa that melted, like I have an aluminum foil inside to make it stand up, and it kind of melted over. And I tried to paint it to see if I could fix it, and there was no way. And it was sitting there all by its lonesome. And this lady has been buying from me every year, collecting. She said, "Oh, I want that one." I said, "No, it melted, it defected." She goes, "Someday you're going to be famous." And I'm going to say, I own one of Donna's pieces. And I laughed and I just thought, I never in a million years, I'm not famous. I'm just known for wood stroke painting all over the world. That's pretty cool. When I had people from other countries, there's a fun one, come up, and we didn't speak the same language, but they said the men were bowing down to me saying, I mean, greeting me and saying, "Very famous." And I said, "I'm not famous." You know what they said? "Oh, to have your name on a brush, you are very famous." So that's fun. It's fun. People will say, with whatever you paint, Alan, you need to tell me if this has happened, because it happens to everybody. Your family or friends go, "Oh, you never told me you were an artist," and you're thinking, "No, I just painted. I just practiced for an hour. I'm not an artist." But then you're going to start believing it. For every negative comment, I am sure that you have dozens. Yes, I've been blessed. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I have. If I let those people influence me not to go on the shopping channel again in Canada, or not to paint right here in Florida, where this university was, where the professor with letterhead from the college crucified me. Then, but I mean, that's how we felt. So now, what I'm looking at that's surprising me is I didn't like how bright it was in the background. All right, look how it mellowed out with all the painting on it. All right. And I was thinking it was too much. I said, "Dang, I covered my whole background, but look at it now. Doesn't that look dreamy kind of?" I always get paint on the sides of my canvas. Do you leave your sides as they are? Oh no. No, I hang these with a push pin all over my studio. My shop, where I have a studio where I teach, I hang these with a push pin, and I don't really want to leave it like that usually. And what I tell everybody, as you're painting, not this kind of background. So I would usually, like, if the grass starts here with my landscape, then sky or whatever, I just wrap the color like the ocean or whatever. But I want you to see that I can pick a color and some floating medium, and I can decide, oh, look, if I want to do this really quick, because I sell my art and I have to sit there and touch all the sides up. If I don't do it while I go. So I want you to see, I can just take my thumb and I can wipe that off. So it might go a little bit on the top and then it's on the bottom. You see, so I have that look. All right, and I chose lavender because when you walk in the room, you'll see it purple coming on both ways. I can do some yellow here, and then just some of the purple up here. All right, so that's what I do and why I do it that way. So, but I just think, if you are painting, you want to paint all kinds of pieces. Think the biggest thrill is it's a different season. Paint that same size canvas, and like at your door or wherever that you're going to hang it in the foyer, or when people greet you at the door, when you're greeting people at the door, switch out your painting. Like, I'm tired of that one. I have a closet door, not a major foyer or anything, but a closet door where you would hang coats and all. And I put a little nail on that door, And I hang my next time you see my paintings, you'll see it. I hang my paintings on this white door in the upper, like eye level, and I hang my paintings to make pictures to do the thumbnails here. Okay. So I like them without a frame. But then you do a masterpiece. I got this blue Santa that I want to keep it forever. So I want to get that frame sometime in an amazing, big, gorgeous frame. All right. When Hobby Lobby has the open back frames. So think about that. You can frame them or not frame them, or you can just do art paper instead of a million canvases. And you can also switch those out and put when the canvas are like 50%, I mean, frames with glass them or 50% off or whatever. Lots of times I take the glass out and put a piece of flat panel canvas there. But then if it has matte board in it, then I just put the art paper and it makes a beautiful painting. And I've had lots of people just buy it like if you did watercolor and you leave the pencil marks and all that kind of stuff. Um, and I've bought those pieces at art shows before. When I paint the sides. Yes. I went into a long description of that to Jacqueline. I can't even say it. So I hope that was okay. All right. That was very more than you asked, right? Okay, guys, I have been on for an hour with you, but I had a quick intro that I was on earlier tonight. If you get a chance, go watch it. I'd appreciate that. When I paint the sides, Ro. Yep, and you're painting now, right, Ro? You're feeling good enough that you saw something and you wanted to paint it, and you even told me you liked it, right? Sometimes when you're down and out, guys, my kids tell me never to say this, but I said, listen, when you are having a hard time and you just, you know, painting is creating is better than drugs. It just makes you feel good about yourself. People like what you're doing, or you like what you're doing. How many of you, you don't compare it to me, how many of you just looked at your painting and went, "Oh, I am so happy with that." I had somebody in class say that today. It might not be like yours, Donna, but I think these three flowers are beautiful and I painted them. That's what you want to say. You want to give yourself grace. And my word for this year, we do Patreon, my husband, and I do a podcast. And on Zoom, and it's a Patreon's the name of it. And we get on there and do all kinds of creative and how to do your business and we just do good talking with each other and we can see you and other people can see you. I'm trying to sign it, but nothing's showing up. Um, White doesn't work. Um, and We challenged everybody to write an art journal for this year and put some of the things you love that you learned in there and all. But I said, I am challenging you guys to paint a cover of a little journal and start um, doing your art in there, the new things you learn or whatever, just doing a couple petals or something. But pick a word. And so it will take you to a happy place. Yes, Alan. So my word, because we were reading scriptures, and I went, "Oh my goodness, Mark, there's many things we do good, but we have no patience." And the older we get, the less patience we have. So I think I was way better with my kids than I am with myself these days. But patience, but let me tell you, let me get really clear. I did not pray and ask God to give me patience because that's really scary. All right. So my word to think of when I'm being like, I can't wait. I'm pushing somebody to move out of the way on the road or whatever. I just need to sit back and be more patient. That's one of those words in the scriptures that would be good for me. So anyway, pick a word and pick a goal. 1 hour a week. Then there'll be 1 hour 3 times a week. And just sit down. I want you to feel the happy feelings that you feel when you're creating. Okay. So this is just a little canvas full of flowers. Now, if you just do heads of flowers, the 6 by 6 canvas is one of the coolest things that tons of my teachers and my painters painted for art shows one season. And they just told me how many they sold of the 6 by 6 thick wrap canvas. And then we did head of a flower on each one of them. Black background, dark blue backgrounds, whatever. Stay out of the left lane. Yes. Patience is a virtue. Yes. See, guys? All right. So just imagine that head, that head, that head, no leaves, and just do hydrangeas. And they sold those like crazy. And I'm gonna grab a couple just to show you that these these are quick little fun things to do. Actually, Ro, when she said she hadn't painted for a long time, that's what Ro did. She said, I just got one little canvas and I painted, I think she said a cardinal, and I made her super happy. Now, this is a class I'm getting ready to teach because we taught it with my students, and I wasn't thrilled about this, but they did the most beautiful canvases. I could not believe their flowers that they were creating. We call them campers in my studio because they camp out and never leave. They want to have lunch. Alan came to my class. Uh, Leave the driving the mark. I do, Alan. I do. All right. So look, but see, that was kind of like what everybody was doing. I'm like, yeah. And so, but then look, I thought that one turned out pretty. All right. And some people use the gold leafing papers, which is not really gold, some of those, but when you put it on, it's wonderful. All right, so now that's just one extreme. Now look at this. I did this. I'm doing many events around the country this year. I pick different areas each year. They're 3-day events, and we have a meet and greet the night before. And I'm going to be in Albemarle, North Carolina, on April 8th to the 11th. I'm going to be, and you can pay and come. You can go to my website, onestar.com, and say events, and you can just put a deposit and hold your space. May, and we always sell out in North Carolina. My new place I haven't been. I'm excited because they're inviting us to Latham, New York, which is upstate. It's May 13th to the 16th this year. And then in the fall, in September, we're going to Carthage, Tennessee. We've sold out 2 years in a row, way before September, way, way, way before. And then you can come to Orlando, where I live. I'm in Clermont, not Orlando, but December 3rd through the 5th. So those are places. And we also have a little convention this year, again in July. So I want you to see, this is one of those many events I did last year. We did a bird, and half the day, and half the day we did the hydrangeas. And so I taught all kinds of dreamy hydrangeas. Hydrangeas. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, so now look at these. Now this is, I've been doing a lot of birds, but I did some roosters, and I went into Chat GPT. I have a big rooster I did for our lesson on chat on at convention. One of them, I have a big rooster and I don't have it, but I was doing a rooster and I said, these are the colors, make me a companion little one. And they at Chat GPT did this, but it was in purples and pinks, even though I said my colors, and I just used the same colors, but they created that from mine. All right. And then here's one, and I painted on wood blocks, which is cheaper than this. And I have this thing about, if it's heavier than a plastic pot and a clay pot, for instance, that it feels like it's worth more. Okay. So what I wanted to share with you on this, these are 1 by 6s, 2 by 6s, 2 by 6s, and they are right here. Look, they are 6 by 6. All right. No. Oh, this was a short piece, but I cut them 6 inches long. All right. But if you don't have a chop saw or something, and somebody do. So when I finished this, it went with the collection. I said, Mark, what do I do? I don't want to do stripes or polka dots. What do I do? And I don't always use his thought, but he said, make chicken wire. So look how fun. I just put a little bit of chicken wire around the edges. This was better. Oh, this is the last one I did quick in class, but I did this kind of chicken wire around it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but didn't that change the look? So it looks cute. These stand on shelves. They sit wherever. They don't have to hang on the wall, but they look cute hanging on the wall. And I also like to put designs around the edges. Now, just these, even if you, but the thickness makes them really cool. Stuff like that are quick sellers at shows, all right? And I'm telling you, my sister and I won many times the booth of the for the convention, cash awards for our booths, and we make like Florida cabbage palm frond. We don't make it; we have our guys make it, but and people come and have bought our our booth, and my husband said, "Listen, that's the deal. You take it down, you take it with you." And we're out of here. And so that's worked a few times. We look at them like, are you kidding? But I just want you to know that if you have the right price things, my sister was doing wreaths and I would paint what pieces she put in the wreaths. And when wreaths weren't selling, that's what I did. And then, when wood wasn't selling sometime, we just made something to put it together so we would sell. But I have to tell you, we had all our little kids running around and helping people, and our husbands were taking the money. We had lines down. Just, she did grapevine wreaths that she made, put dried flowers in them, put my wood in them, and I painted on, listen to this, clay pots, all 4 or 5 sizes of clay pots. And then I always did candles, clay pots, vases. I don't remember, clipboards. Anyway, our best show, my husband said, you shouldn't tell people that. That's not what most shows do. But 500,000 people go through there in 2 days around Lake Eola in Orlando. And we, in those days, we did $49,000 in 2 days. And it was the two of us working hard, and it was people taking money really fast. And that was our best show ever, but it was fun. It depends on right pricing, right colors of the year, things that make sense that aren't not like whatnots that they're not going to use. There's all kinds of gift giving, all kinds of fun things. Okay. All right. I painted wooden blocks and put hooks on them and hung on the back for keys. Oh, that's really cute, Karen. But you know what? If you do these, you can put them that way. Now, how'd you hang that? I painted wooden blocks and put hooks on them and a hanger on the back. Okay, I get it. That's a good gift. Yeah, that's really good. All right. So anyway, you don't even have to do them this thick if you're doing them on the wall to hang. But and then I put them. If you use a 1-by, you can screw the hooks on the front. All right, hanging the hanger thingies. Okay. All right. What I did is I took like 10 by 20 wood pieces, and I would put lots of hooks for mugs and stuff and keychains and all kinds of good stuff back then, and I sold them to the department stores. All right. I hung a little wreath on one, little grapevine wreaths. All right, and I'm just winding down. Can you tell? Thank you guys. Y'all made my night. I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope that you saw something that inspired you. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much, and let's paint together.